Sometimes in the Nerf hobby, you just have to have a specific thing, and you don't care what it takes to get that specific thing. That's where mods come from. That's why this community has been doing what Hasbro won't for multiple decades. And yes, some people like shell ejection. They want that little bit of realism thrown into their nerfing combat. I mean, it makes sense. Nerf darts are 50 caliber, and they do kind of look like cartridges of some sort, so you can kind of guess why people would want to add some kind of shell to that. And well, if you wanted a powerful, accurate bolt-action sniper rifle in the Nerf category, now you have the perfect option. Meet the Wrenfield from Shellington Blasters. This is a spring-powered bolt-action blaster that is magazine-fed, shoots cut-down Nerf darts, or short darts as we call them. Whether you make them yourselves by cutting your original Nerf darts in half, or you just buy pre-made ones from the likes of Dart Zone and Adventure Force, and 3D printed shells, because this entire blaster, besides the barrel and the working components, are 3D printed, and yes, it is hand-assembled and built for you. Now, if you already have a 3D printer and want to get the hardware for one, Shellington Blasters has you covered, but if you just want the full, complete thing ready to fire out of the box, that is also an option. Hand-built, ready to order for a very reasonable price. I mean, I say stuff like that and people freak out because it's actually pretty expensive, but again, it's hand-built. If you think you could do better, start your own company. Right off the bat, this thing is absolutely beautiful. This was built for me by Shellington Blasters. They just asked me what colors I wanted and they shipped it out to me. We have not exchanged any money. This is just for a review. And there's a lot of stuff I like about it. Starting with the grip, it is nice, thin, and comfy. It's not the most perfect grip ever, but it is very comfortable. And the shoulder stock is adjustable. Mine is a little bit wobbly, but I guess it doesn't matter once it's actually shouldered. And this thing is super lightweight. It is very maneuverable in the hand. And this part right here in front of the magazine acts as a really great foregrip. There is screw holes down here. It looks like you could put a rail. I don't have one, which is a shame because I'd like to put a bipod on it, but there is a Picatinny rail running across the entire top of it that you can add sights to. The print quality is pretty good. My only real complaint is the fit and finish on some of the parts. There are gaps here that I feel like shouldn't be there, that both worry me and look pretty ugly, and it kind of upsets me just a little bit. But I've fired the things a few hundred times. I have had absolutely no issues with anything. In fact, it's worked like an absolute dream. The magazine it feeds from is the exact same one that the Fly Point uses. So if you have a Fly Point, it is cross-compatible with both the shells and the magazine. And of course, the shells are the exact same ones that work inside of the Winchester from Shellington Blasters, so if you're already into the ecosystem, you just have another great option. Load a short dart into your shell. I'm using a Dart Zone Max dart here. Load the shell into your magazine with the dart head facing forward. Load the magazine into your blaster, and of course, bolt action, and this is where things get spicy. Pull that back, push it forward, a shell is chambered with a dart in it, and you get some pretty good performance out of it. How good of performance? All right, whatever spring came in the Wrenfield stock. So this is how it fires out of the box. Using Dart Zone Max darts. 209. 207. 219. 203.3. 220.2, 213.4, 219.1. Whew, for such a reasonable bolt action prime, this thing delivers the hits. All right, I'm gonna be testing the accuracy of the Wrenfield against the indoor target here. I put an optic on the Picatinny rail. It's just so I could put the dot on the target. It's not about how close I am to the actual silhouette. It's just how good the grouping is. I'm gonna point the dot on the thing and fire off a magazine and see what the grouping is like out of the box. No modifications. It even has its own kind of scar muzzle thing going on. It doesn't have rifling, I don't think, but it does have porting, which could help with accuracy. So this is about what you'd expect your Wrenfield to look like out of the package here. Just doing the Fly Point shells I had, and I'm going to be using brand new Adventure Force Pro Darts as I eject a shell there. And let's see how this goes. I'm just going to be putting the dot on the center. I'm just going to be putting the dot on the center of the target, and we'll see how consistent this is. Such a nice smooth prime. Well, if you haven't pointed in the wrong direction, it'll try to eject out the other side. That's a pretty small grouping. I actually want to continue this and see how it goes. So another magazine here. Same darts, same shells. Oh, I'm out. That's a really, really good group. I am very impressed with that. Wow. So, with no actual rifling, I don't think, it is very, very accurate with just some porting. All right, and now just for fun, we're gonna do the target, add up our score and see how good I can do. There's gonna be no rest, there's gonna be no optic. I'm just gonna freehand it and see how well I can perform. I have a feeling would actually do pretty well. We get 10 shots and our score is added up at the end. So this is a completely subjective test. It's basically just for me. Ooh, there we go. It's a lot safer every single time you prime it if you just tilt it over a little bit. All right, and we need what? 3 more shots. And the final shot. I will be very impressed if I can ever beat that score. Again, I don't even have iron sights on this thing with any other blaster. That's incredible. Very, very accurate. Whew. Yeah, with my testing, most of my shots were over 200 FPS, which for this lightweight of a prime is very, very good. This is exactly how I got it out of the box. I have no idea what spring's in there. I don't know what barrel. I assume this is a standard setup that is sent to everybody, and it works exceptionally well. However, I have also heard of this thing getting over 300 something FPS with a different barrel and a different spring inside of it. But of course, increasing that spring load will obviously make it harder to prime. In this current situation, for a grown man, it is very, very simple to prime, and I like that a lot. Priming system is actually ingenious on this because you're actually pulling the entire plunger tube back with the plunger rod resting inside. So you're using the plunger tube itself to compress the spring and catch the system. The bolt is actually just a laser cut piece on the front of the plunger tube that is nice, big, thick, sturdy, and feels really good to prime. And if you really want to, it is very easy to convert this thing from left and right-handed bolt primes. Excellent feature. It just works. And that's where this video kind of takes off, because if you really wanted that actual sniper rifle bolt action feeling in your Nerf blaster game, this is an awesome way to get it, because you actually get that feel of pulling the bolt back and having a shell fly out. I don't have anything else that can do that. I know there are some probably dubious quality Chinese-made blasters out there that will do that, but I guarantee you none of them are hitting as hard as this thing. And that's where the Wrenfield shines. Yes, it uses bolt action, and yes, it uses shells. Well, this isn't a competitive blaster. It's not really meant to be a competitive blaster, but what it is meant to be is capable enough with a huge boost in fun. After all, in every single war I've ever been to, one dart tags you out. And that's the thrill of the sniper. Place accurate, well-timed shots downrange, and revel in that feeling of the one shot, one tag, with the added bonus of a shell flying out every single time you prime your blaster. It feels good, it looks good, it performs well, and it has a niche that nothing else will really cover. Everything in this blaster, with the exception of the internals and the barrel and so forth, are 3D printed. And with it being 3D printed, not only can you get it printed in a variety of different color combinations, but I bet you custom parts will be coming out left, right, front, and center for this thing, which will allow you to tune the ergonomics and the functionality potentially in quite a different few ways. Even the magazine release, really easy to hit with your main hand. Spring loaded, pops right out, absolutely love that. And yes, if you really wanted to, you could put 50 caliber foam balls in each shell, it will hold 3 of them, and you could have a sniping shotgun. Of all the different things I've seen from Shellington blasters, this might be the best. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite, but it's just no nonsense, works perfectly out of the gate, and incredibly fun to use. Since you're supposed to be a sniper, you shouldn't have to worry so much about how many darts you're spewing out. For those of you that care about performance over all others, this is not the blaster for you, but if you want something with good enough performance, with the added fun of being bolt action with shell ejection and magazine fed, the Wrenfield just happens to tick all those boxes. As for any changes I'd like to see on this thing, I don't really have a whole lot. The barrel is kind of weird. It does work exceptionally well in this setup, but it's actually like 9/16 brass, and to put a different barrel in there, you need something that's 9/16 size, but also tighter, so maybe you can get more performance out of it. It's kind of weird. It does work stock, but tuning it higher up may require you to have a 3D printer or get some extra pieces printed for you. And I wish it had a rail like standard right here, a Picatinny rail. If somebody wanted to remove it because they had a bipod that's screwed in, that's fine too, but I'd rather just have a rail on default because every single bipod or foregrip I have is Picatinny. But those are very minor complaints. This thing out of the box is incredibly surprising and even more fun. Thank you very much to Shellington Blasters for sending this thing out to me. I really enjoyed it. It's gonna go up on my wall, and anytime I need a bolt action sniper, you know where I'm gonna go. If you want to get one of your own, I will have a link, of course, down in the description and probably in the pinned comment, where you can pick up your own Shellington Blasters, Wrenfield, and check out the Fly Point or even the Winchester. I've done videos on both of those. You can check it out in the top right corner and get your hands on what I deem the most realistic NERF sniper rifle ever. But that's all I've got for you. I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for joining me for this video. Chances are, if you got all the way to the end, you like what I do here, so please hit like, get subscribed, ring the bell, leave a comment, do all that algorithmic garbage to help this channel grow so you can help our hobby grow. And of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different video.
You gotta